Ladies, it's time to leave the broke boys and men with no direction in the dust. If you're tired of dating men that can't support you or aren't at the level that you are at, you've got to check out Luxy Dating. Luxy is an exclusive community full of high-end and successful individuals. So if you're tired of dating men with no direction, you should check out Luxy Dating.
Men, it's time to leave the dumb who think the average man's salary is 6 figures in the dust. If you're tired of dating annoying independent boss babes who think they're elite when they're average at best, check out Tradwife Dating. It's a community of kind, respectable, childbearing individuals. So if you're tired of dating girls who accuse you of having no direction when they medicate themselves for having no direction themselves, check out Tradwife Dating, where a woman knows her place. You want to say one?
Yeah.
So the ladies' favorite word for men today are narcissist. Narcissist is the trending word. No matter what the argument is, the men are narcissists. So I, being the investigative content creator that I am, baby, I went and looked up the word narcissist because I wanted to get a true definition. And I seen this image pop up. Behaviors of a narcissist. Lack of empathy for others. Has a strong desire for attention and admiration from others. Consistently has problematic relationships and has inflated sense of self-worth or importance. Wait a minute now. Isn't it always the women online complaining about how none of their relationships are working because it's the men? But the men be in relationships sometimes and they be happy, but y'all don't. That sounds like constantly being in problematic relationships. And then the overinflated self-worth. Everybody's a 10. Nobody's average because I'm a 10, right? And then on the other side, not having empathy for others. Girl, I'm going to do what I want to do because this is my life to live. It don't matter if it hurt him, F them kids. Y'all see strangers struggling and don't care, right? And it is mostly women that be online half naked, acting a fool for what? Likes and views or admiration and attention. If the men are narcissists, how is it that the ladies are fitting these descriptive words so well? Why is it that these behaviors are found in so many women if the men are the narcissists? I'm trying to figure it out.
A lot of modern women continue to say that men aren't putting forth effort. Yes, I am. I'm just not giving you the effort. Because you on some BS.
Soft power isn't candles and neutral colors. It isn't iced coffees and satin robes. And to be clear, I love those things. But real soft power, it's when you walk into a room and your feminine presence speaks before you do. So how do you embody that? One word: courage. The courage to be clear, but kind. The courage to hold standards without being harsh. The courage to stop explaining yourself when you've already made yourself clear. And the courage to stay tender in a world that keeps trying to tear you apart. Because when you walk in that kind of courage, you do not have to fight to be seen. Your presence speaks first, and then people lean in, waiting for the weight, wit, and wisdom you carry when you do show up.
Men have started going their own direction and quit fixing the mistakes and the foolishness. And some of the stuff is not even a mistake. It's just you doing whatever you want to do and expecting a man to save you. And when I, as a man, have stopped doing that, my life has gotten a lot better.
Women know we are not their piece. But for some reason, my brothers, we think they can be ours. If I was speaking right now to a group of men and I asked what is the one thing they all wanted, they all would yell, peace. But sadly, many of those men will never attain peace until they stop believing it comes from a woman. The belief that a woman can be a man's peace has emotionally and mentally crippled countless men. Not because those men were naive, but because many of those men were never taught what peace actually is or where it truly comes from. The issue is not that women cannot bring comfort, support, wisdom, companionship, love, encouragement, or partnership. But many men mistakenly expect emotional and mental salvation from the relationship. And as a result, peace itself is elusive. I believe this belief began when we were babies, because the first experience of comfort most men ever receive comes from their mother. From a psychological perspective, the nervous system of a baby boy learns early that when he is distressed, hungry, afraid, or overwhelmed, the person who usually restores calm is his mother. So subconsciously, boys learn that when they feel stressed, a woman will bring them peace. But tragically, many men carry that template into adulthood, and adult relationships were never meant to function like maternal regulation. Peace is not the absence of stress, conflict, or adversity. Peace is being in the midst of those things and still remaining calm at heart.
Well, honestly and truly, most of these modern women want to get their hearts broken by Chad and Tyrone. For the rest of us who actually want to improve on ourselves, we're going to go somewhere else and do that. And that's what today's sponsor, Anson Belt and Buckle, helps you to do.
It's always going to be a simp that's willing to deal with whatever it is that he's willing to deal with. It's going to be a dude that f***ed her. He's going to make sure that he got the best out of her. And then she's going to come back to you. And then you're going to propose to her. And then you're going to be a step baby daddy as a result of it. It's always going to be a simp. So we never ever going to be able to make the progress. But I think the real one should protest marriage based off of what it is that they see today, because it's a lose-lose situation. Never become a stepfather. No man that has no kids that is at the top of his game. Listen, you're not even going to be at the top of your earnings until you in your late 50s, early 60s. She sees the potential in your greatness. That's why she's trying to get you while you in college. So no man should ever subject himself to the idea of marriage based off of the standards that we have today. Why would you become great, make all of the sacrifices, and then go and take care of another man's kids? What benefit is that to you? Them kids don't even give a about you. They don't even like you. They don't even look like you.
It's wild. I've spoken to women I know who have essentially come home and found their partner asking for a breakup. They'll sort of go upstairs and find that they've already packed up all of their belongings, and they're sort of like, right, I'm going, and they walk out the door and then they never hear from them again. And it is strangely common, I think, for people who have been together for 6 months, a year, 2 years. I think we're quite used to ghosting happening for casual relationships and situationships. It's sort of just a common symptom of modern dating, but I think this feels quite new and even more insidious for obvious reasons.
And as you say, the difference here is that this is for people who are in long-term relationships. And some of the stories that are in your piece of people who've, been away on holiday together, family holidays, they've talked about moving in, and then they suddenly find their partner just never speaks to them again. How should people respond in this situation? If this is happening to you, what can you do about it? What should you do about it?
Well, I think you should treat it like the kind of grief that it is and take it very seriously, because these things can obviously leave lasting psychological damage. You can be doubting your own recollection of events and sort of end up feeling like you imagined an entire relationship. I think one common reason why this might happen is that the person who ghosts is secretly in another relationship. That's something I've heard happening quite a lot. But I think you just have to take solace in the fact that, well, this person clearly wasn't right for you if they can treat you like that, and feel grateful that they're not in your life anymore. And if you can, try and get some very, very good therapy to deal with it, because it's a pretty horrible situation to be in, obviously.
A lot of these modern women like to comment on a man's masculinity. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Well, I believe a man should be this, and this, right? But I think the problem is a lot of these modern women really don't have a concept of what a man is. You can have an opinion, but the unfortunate thing for a lot of these modern women is their opinion is wrong. Their opinion of what a man is and what a man should be is wrong. That's not actually how a man works. That's not actually how masculinity works. They don't know that. They're just talking about what they read in some book somewhere.
You think if you're the good guy, she'll want you more. Wrong. Every time you cancel your plans for her, every time you do something for her, hoping it gives you some brownie points, and every single time that you agree with her when you don't mean it. you're not building attraction. You are training her to treat you like a service, because what she's hearing isn't, wow, he's so caring. What she hears is, he has nothing going on. He'll always be there. He'll bend if I push. And once a woman feels that she has you by the balls, the desire drops. Why? Because attraction grows from standards, right? Not from obedience. A man with no boundaries doesn't feel safe to us. He feels very fragile and very weak because you're too available. You're too eager, way too easy to predict. And women don't crave predictable. They crave a man that is so grounded and has direction. So stop acting like access to you is free, because being helpful makes you convenient, but being respected makes you attractive. Convenient gets used. Attractive gets chosen. So stop auditioning for a role in her life. Build your life, hold your standards, and let her feel what it's like to lose access.
While I was pregnant, I broke up with him. So when I had her, I actually didn't call him to come be a part of the birth. And I think he was a little begrudged, but that's neither here nor there. That was for me. I wanted to have that moment be sacred and special. I wanted to be able to be focused, you know, and just be supported by my mom, my sisters, my aunts, my grandmother. I definitely wasn't myself for a long time.
Here's my issue with this whole thing. A lot of women think that the baby is theirs. Yeah, you carried the baby for 9 months. Yeah, you went through labor and delivery. That's no small thing. But that child is as equally yours as it is the father's. And for you to deny the father the opportunity to see his child being born, that's one of the most selfish things you can do as a woman, as a mother. A lot of women are very selfish and self-centered. They always say, my child, my baby. And y'all think that the father doesn't have any rights to the baby just because you carried the baby for 9 months. You wouldn't have had that baby had it not been for him inserting that sperm into and fertilizing them eggs. Once you have a child, it's no longer about you. It's no longer about how you feel. It's what's the best interest for the child. If that father is not physically, verbally, or none of that, then there's no reason for you to be stripping him of the opportunity to see his child being born. But then turn around and want to put the man on child support.
How tall are you?
5'1".
What's the minimum height that you would date in a guy?
5'10". Minimum height.
How tall are you?
5'9".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6'4". I gotta get my kids right.
How tall are you?
5'6".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 foot. I like me a good height difference.
How tall are you?
5'7".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6'2". I just like a guy who's taller than me.
How tall are you?
5'4".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
5'10". That's a good distance from my height.
How tall are you?
5'7".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 foot. I want you to be taller than me when I'm wearing heels.
How tall are you?
5'4"-ish.
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 foot. Cause why not?
How tall are you?
5'2".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
5'10". I would never date a short guy.
How tall are you?
5'1".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
5'10". I just can't do a short guy.
How tall are you?
5'4".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
5'11". That's a good height.
How tall are you?
5'2".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
5'11". I don't want no short man.
How tall are you?
5'3".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 foot. Cause I don't want nobody short.
How tall are you?
5'2".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 feet. You have to be taller than me. 5'5".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
6 feet. Cause it's a good height.
How tall are you?
4'10".
What's the minimum height that you would date?
Here, but preferably around here. I'm already short. I don't want my kids to be short too.
My car is parked, so I'm not driving. But I want to say this. Men who compete, let me slow down. Men who compete with women do so because they know they cannot compete with men. Let me say that again. Men who compete with women do so because they know that they cannot compete with men. They know that if they compete with men, somebody will be hurt, and it's more likely to be them. And it's a lot of other male egoisms that fall from the beef. So when you see men in competition with women, it's because they really know that they can't compete with men. Let's be clear.
The world is finally healing. Lusty men are finally losing. What am I talking about? There was a recent article by Psychology Today stating there is now a rise of lonely single men. But 3 of the key reasons for this is 1, relationship standards are increasing. 2, there are more men than women on dating apps, 64% more men. And 3, men are deficient when it comes to dating. One huge thing that the article states is that women are becoming less tolerable of men's poor communication skills and lack of emotional availability. This is leading many single men to stay single. What I'm seeing is women are no longer accepting the bare minimum and poor behavior that in the past women were told to tolerate, which means us women are finally leveling up, which should force men to seek therapy, which is literally what the article says, or we will remain single. What do you ladies think of this?
If you can't submit to your husband, ask yourself if you got married for a wedding and for an aesthetic and so that your shame could be removed and so that you don't look like nobody wants you, or if you actually wanted to be married to someone, if you actually wanted to become one with that man, if you actually wanted to come under his leadership and headship. We like to be argumentative. We don't want to be submitted. We don't want to be obedient. This man can't tell me nothing. But it's like, well, if you felt that way about him and if you had no intention of coming under his headship and being protected by him and being led and guided by him, not controlled necessarily, but there is an aspect of control that goes into it, because if a man cannot control his home, he cannot protect it. If he cannot control his woman, he cannot protect her.
Why does everyone make it seem like it's so bad if there are girls that are like, yeah, I want a rich man, like I want my husband to be rich? A lot of people are like, okay, well, you only want to get nice bags and nice shoes, and like, yeah, I do, but what about when I'm married to this guy? Is my husband gonna make sure that my kids go to a good school? Is my husband gonna make sure that when I'm pregnant that I'm not gonna be working and all I'm gonna be doing is worrying about the health and the safety of my baby? And when my baby is born, I could just focus on being a mother. God forbid if anyone gets sick, can my husband make sure that I don't get stressed, that we have the money to make sure everything is taken care of? Anyone in my family can get the best medical treatment possible, because medical bills are expensive. I am a nurse, I know. Money is not everything, but it's a lot, and it can definitely change your life. So if I and any other girl wants to say, I only want a guy that will do X, Y, and Z for me, stop judging her. If you want to work hard like a man, you don't mind being pregnant and working, which is so crazy to me, but if you don't mind these things, I don't care. That's none of my business. But get out of my business too.
The average dude has to make $250,000 a year, be 6 feet tall, have a six-pack, pay for all the bills, pay for all the dates, and have a huge just for the opportunity to be the 172nd guy to blow her back out. Meanwhile, before she grants you exclusivity, she's gonna text you and say, hey, I need an Uber from this place to my house, but she's not the one getting in the Uber. Tyrone is. He's gonna come over, blow her back out. She's gonna text you and say, I'm hungry. You're gonna DoorDash food that Tyrone is gonna eat. And meanwhile, you paid for all this. How do I know this? Because I was Tyrone.
I don't understand why you wouldn't want a woman like me. I am successful, I'm rich, I can fight.
Let me go ahead and save you the time and energy, sis. They don't care. The men do not care that you can protect and provide for them. What? These are not qualities that men look for in women. And that's the issue. We are looking for men. And so we start listing off qualities that men have, thinking that those qualities are going to be attractive to other men. That doesn't make any sense. You can protect and provide for them? What man cares about that? What man is looking for a wife that can protect and provide for them? Unless they're looking for a wife that they can just leech off of. That would be the only reason, because outside of that, that doesn't make any sense. As girlies, we do this a lot. We brag about these things that we think men care about. We're like, I have so many degrees. I have so much money. I have all these things. They don't care about that stuff. Remember that Cristiano Ronaldo's wife was a waitress before they met. A waitress. We need to start bragging about the things that men actually care about. If you actually want a partner, which is what she's saying, she doesn't understand why she's single. If you actually want a partner, start bragging about the things that men care about. I mean, I guess you're going to try and find some very niche man that just loves him a masculine woman. I assume those men are out there, but they're not the majority, and it's going to take quite a lot of time. Or you can just think about the feminine qualities that they already like and try and do those. Options.
The thing, girls love to complain that guys don't make the first move anymore, whether that's in person, whether that's on Raya, whether that's on Cuffed, whether that's in Trader Joe's, you name it. Guys aren't approaching girls like they used to, like once upon a time. Get this. Guy will have the balls to approach a girl in public, then the girls are so mean to them for no reason, just because they don't think he's cute. I'm not saying you have to give your number out to any guy that approaches you. If you're wanting men to be more comfortable approaching women in public, you have to be nicer to them. Give them the time of day. You know, like boost the morale, boost their confidence, so shoot them down and you're to him that he'll actually go approach another lady out in public. A systemic issue for men not having the confidence to approach women in public anymore. And though I get it, if I was a man, I would not want to approach a girl in public and her be a bitch to me, because man, that shit sucks. I think we all need to be a little bit nicer sometimes. But yeah.
You see, a man who isn't afraid to be alone is dangerous. Not dangerous because he's angry. Not dangerous because he's toxic. Dangerous because you can't control him. You see, most people make bad decisions because they're scared of being alone. They stay in relationships they know aren't right. They keep friends they outgrew 3 years ago. Say yes when they want to say no. Tolerate disrespect because they're terrified of losing people. But a man who's comfortable being alone, you can't pressure him with loneliness. You can't manipulate him with intention. You can't make him settle just because somebody might leave. He's already proven he can sit in a room by himself and still be at peace. Let's be honest. See, some of the worst decisions people make happen because they can't handle an empty house, a Friday night with no plans, or eating dinner by themselves. So they entertain people they shouldn't, text people they were supposed to leave alone, go back to situations they already prayed their way out of. You see, a man who isn't afraid to be alone moves different, because every relationship, friendship, opportunity becomes a choice, not a necessity. And that's when people stop controlling your life. The moments you're no longer scared to walk away.
Do you even realize that these red pill manosphere men are all telling you that women want bad guys because that advice doesn't work? Because it's just gonna make more women hate you? So that you could think, oh, I must be doing something wrong. I gotta keep buying their course so they can teach me their ways. Like, this is the same kind of shit that makes people fall for Flat Earth and Trump. It's straight up marketing. Can't you see that you're being a sucker? All these people that treat these manosphere bros seriously are just suckers. You're falling for all their lies. And they know what they're doing. They are purposely telling you awful advice so that you could keep on relying on them and they could keep getting your money. Do you really want to keep doing that? Their advice only works for broken women. Women that like to be humiliated and made fun of. Because they think that's the only way to get a man's attention. Like, come on guys. You can do better. You can do better than being a bunch of suckers for these manosphere bros.
Taking a woman out of her masculine era and into her soft feminine era is a real flex. That means you brought her peace. A lot of these men don't make a woman feel at peace. They come in her life and cause chaos. Women who have had no choice but to find a way to make it happen on their own tend to be more on edge and have zero tolerance for immature men. Because if they don't get it done, they have no safety net to fall back on, and failure is not an option. So men who don't have pure intentions, who cause her more stress and don't add value to her life, are a threat to her succeeding. But when a real man proves that he is a leader, a provider, and someone she can always count on, that's when you will experience that soft feminine side of her.
They don't understand that a lot of men, we don't really run away from marriage. We run away from divorce.
That's a fact.
We're not running away from marriage. But you gotta understand, if I found out what marriage is, it's like, I love my girl. But you mean to tell me if I make one mistake, they can ruin me for the rest of my life on one mistake? If she make a mistake, it's cool. She make a mistake, divorce is good. She just go on about her life. I make a mistake that can cost me for the rest of my. That ain't really fair. You know, one day I want to make my girl that happy because it's truly for her. And I'm man enough to say men don't look into. And it's coming from somebody whose parents been married. I'm 35. My parents been married since I was 5.
Right.
So this coming from a married home couple. I don't. It's just what they done made it to be now. Right. It's like, okay, I see married people. It's really a money game now. It seems like it's like, all right, I get married. There's no benefits for me. It's no benefits for me but to make her happy. So now if I get married, Okay, cool. Now, as a man or whoever I am, I haven't made no mistake with my girl for 8 years.
Right.
Never got no Texas, came to her as no woman. No woman came to her as no woman. I'm not on camera. I'm not doing nothing. I done did my thing. You know what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me if I slip up, I do something up, and she just feel like she don't want to give me a chance, she could possibly take half of what I own?
You want to know what scares a father going through divorce? It ain't losing money. It ain't losing his house. It ain't losing their kids. Good dad doesn't care about starting over with nothing. We'll work 2 jobs and sleep on a couch, and we'll rebuild every single thing that we lost. But what keeps us up at night is the thought of our kids being raised to believe that we don't love them, or worse, that we're not there for them. What scares us is missing bedtime stories, missing games, missing the moments that we're never going to get back. And what really terrifies us is walking into a courtroom where a stranger decides if we're fit enough to be a dad. If you're in the fight right now, you're not alone. There's thousands of dads that feel the same fear every single day. Stay steady. Keep showing up. You got this. If this hit you, double tap the screen or share it. Drop your story in the comments. I read every single comment. And share this with another dad who needs to hear it so he knows that he's not alone. And hit that follow button because we're building something great and I want you to be a part of that. You don't have to do this alone. I got you.
Kim Kardashian has been married. Jada Pinkett has been married. Amber Rose has been married. Gabrielle Union. None of these women are marriage material. Men have a tendency. I don't know what it is. Y'all be thinking y'all magicians and that y'all can turn a hoe into a housewife, and it doesn't work that way.
Say this all the time.
I'm gonna be honest. Will get the worst type of woman, and you've been warned about her, but you go thinking that you could save her, and you wife her anyway. And then when everything that you were warned about comes to pass, now you want to get on a podcast complaining about how all women ain't. No, you've been dealing with it. Your Mima told you that girl was a floozy, but you didn't want to listen.
Throw that man some grace.
You wildin'. I look like I got grace.
God will show
I got a little bit of that.
So you don't expect nobody to show you grace?
I don't feel like I'm entitled to it. If that man decides to show me grace, great. If he doesn't have to. Well, if I make a bad decision, that's not the next man's problem.
Why is it every time that I tell a friend, know that I'm single because of my size, they always come through talking about, no, it's not because of that. No, you're a good person. No, somebody will love you. No, let me tell you, the world is driven by sight. You get me? With all these different podcasts, all this stuff that's going on, they make it seem like it's bad to be around somebody that's bigger. Like big people don't care about themselves. They don't care about their hygiene. They make it seem horrible. So a man doesn't want to be seen walking around with a bigger woman because of that image. So when I tell my friends that, they always try to dumb it down. I want somebody to be like, you know what, friend? You right. And you probably should get in the gym and let me help you and let me be with you. You know, these niggas.
But why do you need
it.
validation from a friend if you know this is how you feel inside for yourself?
Because I be working out, but sometimes you need a little extra push. Sometimes you need a little extra motivation. Sometimes you just want the truth.
Amber, get in the gym.
There we go. Thank you, friend. Can you say you'll come with me?
I'll come with you.
I'm gonna lie to you. When I see a woman that's a bigger woman and she's with a man, the man is not giving what's supposed to give.
I really like you, but I'm not looking for anything serious right now. Look, I finally have money to travel and be free. I don't want to settle down. Work is just so busy right now. It wouldn't be fair to you to just jump into a relationship. Look, in order for me to love you, I have to learn to love myself. I'm just not quite there yet. I mean, how do we know we're even compatible? What we need is a little bit more time to figure each other out. Okay, maybe this relationship idea isn't so bad. Once I retire, let's do it. Oh, all right, baby. I'm finally ready to make you my girlfriend. Seymour! Don't do! Jesus! I knew this relationship was gonna kill me! Look what you did, you bitch!
And you know, that's what trips me out. It's like, we say women got the unrealistic expectations, and some of them do, but ain't nobody got more unicorn, fairy tale, Dora the Explorer expectations of the opposite than us, men. Again, some women do expect a man to be 6 feet tall and make 6 figures and have a 6-pack abs, and that's unrealistic for most men. But I know like 10 dudes already that fit into that category. All you got to do is have a good job and some good genetics and you're straight. But look at us. Like, what do we expect of a woman? She got to be a virgin, but she got to be a freak. She got to pay half the bills, but she got to do 100% of the cleaning, the cooking, the child raising. She got to be exhausted from all of that, you know, all the cooking and washing and cleaning and all that good stuff, and still be horny enough to meet our needs and get a good night's rest, but also wake up in the middle of the night in case we want some head and a turkey sandwich. That ain't it. She also got to give birth to all our babies because, you know, we got to have that legacy. But then she can't have no stretch marks and she got to lose that baby weight in 30 days or less. And then she got to do it while fighting postpartum depression by herself, because we're going to tell her she having an attitude or something like that, because all we thinking about is we ain't got no in the last 6 weeks that she got to take to heal. That ain't it. Then she can get older, but she can't look older. Otherwise, we're going to say that she's falling off. Like, the list goes on, but just tell me something. How many women do you know that fit into that category? None. So who really got the unrealistic expectations?
Is everyone 6 foot plus here? Like volleyball. So I'm assuming for all of y'all, does a guy have to be 6 foot to date you?
Yeah.
No.
Me, yeah.
Yeah?
Just because I'm 6'1". You don't gotta be 6 foot. Okay.
What about you?
Yeah.
So what's the minimum height you can work with?
Any height.
Any height?
Any height.
What, my height bother you?
No.
Dead ass?
That is. No.
That's rare out here.
We're all people. We're all humans. So why count anybody out?
We got us one.
So what do you suggest the women in the West do if everyone's advice is for men in the West to look elsewhere for a wife? What happens to all the women in the West then?
Well, that one study we referenced that said by 2030 or something, 50% of the women will be without a man. So that's the direction we're heading, because the men that are looking for those traditional values are starting to go overseas. And then the other half of the men are just checking out completely. They don't want to deal with women at all. So this is going to be a big issue that women are going to deal with in the future as their options dwindle, their options dwindle, their options dwindle.
There's a dangerous idea quietly spreading through our culture. It doesn't announce itself as rebellion. It presents itself as wisdom. It wears the language of health, boundaries, and self-care. The idea is this: if a relationship causes discomfort, it's if someone disappoints you, they're toxic. If your parents fail to meet your emotional needs perfectly, you are justified in cutting them out of your life entirely. That idea is not only false, it's destructive. It's dismantling families, eroding resilience, and hollowing out a generation's ability to endure relationship. And what makes it especially dangerous is that it often borrows the therapeutic language while contradicting biblical truth. The Bible doesn't say we have a ministry of removal. It says we have a ministry of reconciliation. Cutoff culture isn't biblical. It's convenient. Some people stay unhealed because they cut off the very relationships God wants to use to heal them. Iron sharpens iron, not distance. If your faith only works when people are easy, it's not biblical faith.
You know, you have to understand that when you ask about where all the good men are, a lot of these men are quiet. They're right in front of you. They didn't disappear. They just quiet. I'm selective. I'm less willing to throw myself into another situation that looks and that feels unserious. You look and you feel unserious. This whole thing that we got going on looks and feels unserious. It looks like you playing around. You about to play with my money, about to play with my time. Some of these brothers got kids, and you about to play with my kids. And if you start doing that, you might have a problem.